shouldn't we just preserve the environment because it's precious and wonderful and amazing and like helps us to breathe and stuff? Yeah, we should. And we try to, and I am 100% for that. But unfortunately, that's not the way the world works right now. Hello friends, I hope you're all doing well today. I'm Karina, and welcome to Explore Blue Wild. Flying and tourism tends to get a bad rep among environmentalists, and there's good reason for this. Flying is pretty freaking terrible for the environment. It uses a lot of fuel, there's a whole thing. It's bad for the environment, trust me. So we should be minimizing flights when possible. However, climate change isn't the end-all be-all of environmental preservation. It is a huge component of it. But it's not the only thing that matters. There are two major threats to delicate environments and endangered species that tourism helps counter: poaching and habitat destruction. Poaching occurs in the form of either killing these animals in the wild for their pelts, their meat, any part of their body, or stealing these animals from the wild, either as infants or other, and either selling them to wildlife markets so they can be killed somewhere else in the world, or selling them into the illegal pet trade. The second large threat to delicate environments and endangered species is habitat destruction. This occurs whenever humans take over natural places to build infrastructure, chop down forests for agriculture. None of us are traveling right now, but that's kind of the point. We're noticing that because there's this huge decrease, essentially to zero, in tourism, that this is having a negative effect on these environments. We're all hoping and want to believe that the planet is taking a break and recovering right now, and it would be amazing if that were true, that this was entirely good for the environment, that this is affecting us. But it's not. Hong Kong just had the largest shark fin seizure ever, and it was tens of thousands of sharks worth of fins that they found, and they're noticing an uptick in poaching of other species in areas where people aren't able to enforce the laws against it. So unfortunately, animals in these delicate habitats and animals who are vulnerable are being taken advantage of by people who are taking advantage of the situation. Shouldn't we just preserve the environment because it's precious and wonderful and amazing and like helps us to breathe and stuff? Yeah, we should. And we try to, and I am 100% for that. But unfortunately, that's not the way the world works right now. The world is driven by money, and so if the environment is not economically favorable, we're fighting an uphill battle. And also, many of the places where the environment is most delicate are also places which have extremely low incomes. People lack resources and opportunity, and we can't expect them to spend all their time and energy protecting the environment and preserving these species. They have to live too. Although it should be noted that there are people in these places, like the most amazing, courageous people that dedicate their lives to protecting these animals. There's a group of female rangers in Africa. I'll link the article below. It's a Nat Geo article. These women are absolutely amazing. All the people who volunteer at wildlife sanctuaries, there are incredible people doing work to save these animals, but we can't ask everyone to do that. And again, these people are still fighting an uphill battle. So we're just not going to win this way. So what does tourism even have to do with this? Tourism makes preserving the environment economically viable. We will be fighting an uphill battle against poaching and environmental destruction, and we will be losing that battle as we are. We've made strides, but we are still losing that battle. We are not going to win until the environment being intact and these animals being alive and well and wild is unquestionably more economically favorable, both locally and nationally, than any environmental destruction or poaching. How does tourism guarantee the economic viability of animals and habitats? Well, those are the things that bring tourists to these countries. Tourists come to these places to see the wild animals, to see these incredible habitats. That's one of the reasons why I travel. That is a huge motivator for why I travel. And when tourists come to these areas, they bring a ton of money, which stimulates the local economy and provides incentive to maintain these habitats and keep these animals alive. Now, there is an argument, a very valid one, that some tourism is bad, especially some ecotourism. Elephant rides in places like Thailand, swimming with whale sharks in Oslo in the Philippines, wildlife encounters where you can sit and pose with wildlife. And it's true, these things are not good for the animals. However, they do clear the bar of the animals being alive. You know, if we're looking at, here's the bar, below is dead animals due to poaching and habitat destruction, up here is alive animals. Some tourism activities are like right here, the animals are alive, they're suffering, they're not doing well. This is not where we want to be, and this is not where we should be, but this is where we are in some cases. But this is better than dead. This is a starting point for us to get to here, where all environmental tourism is beneficial for the animals and the environment. And we can't just take away the economy built up around these environmental activities without providing a more or equally profitable option that is beneficial for the environment. Then there are the gray area tourist activities. These are tourist activities that do not appear overtly harmful to the animals. We don't know if they're harmful to the animals directly. Many people who don't understand animal behaviors or aren't environmental scientists may have absolutely no clue that these activities could be damaging to the animals. I'm talking about activities like wild seal swims, wild manatee swims. Basically, the encounters of animals in the wild where the animals aren't necessarily being baited or fed, but people are encroaching on their environment. Now, these are super gray because while they may be causing some stress to the animal populations, and again, I'm not saying that these are ideal activities, they do have the incentive of keeping the animals alive. For example, there are manatee tours in Florida where you can snorkel in and around, or with and around the manatees. People say this is bad for the manatees because it stresses them out to have hordes of tourists surrounding them. This is true. This is probably not the best for the manatees. However, it does provide the economic incentive to keep the manatees alive and maintain the mangrove habitat, as opposed to chopping it down for development, which is a huge economic pressure. So if we take away the economic advantage of these tours and we're only left with the pressure of development, then where are we going to be? Probably without mangroves and manatees. You know, it's not black and white here of what the right answer is. But you are watching this video, which probably means that, like me, you are at least a mild environmentalist, or very enthusiastic environmentalist in that case. So you're probably looking for ways to be a tourist in these areas with the most minimal impact and minimal harm possible. If you want to be a great ecotourist, here are some ways to do it. First one is fly minimally. You're probably gonna have to book a flight to your destination. There's really no way around that in most cases. However, once you are in country, or if you're near smaller countries like in that area, don't fly. Stay in eco accommodations. Big hotels are not good for the environment. They're just not. I'll probably do a whole video on that later. Big hotels and cruise ships, bad for the environment. Stay in eco accommodations whenever you can. This is a huge benefit. Next, book tours with locals and local communities. Book tours that are run by indigenous people in that area. Support people who support the environment and help that local economy thrive. There are local tours that are pretty sketchy, so don't just go on any local tour, do check it out first. But whenever you are presented with the opportunity between a good local tour and a good non-local tour, go with the good local tour. And next, in addition to being an amazing tourist and staying in great accommodations and supporting the local economy by buying things from locals, booking tours from locals, you can give additionally by supporting nonprofits and wildlife refuges in the area. You can do this sometimes by going to visit wildlife refuges and either paying to get in or giving a donation, or you can just support nonprofits in the area by giving a donation. And this is just sort of like an extra level of giving back to these wonderful places. To wrap that all up, so we gotta wrap that up. That was a lot. I know I threw a lot at you guys. If you have any questions, please comment below. I will be active in the comments for this one because I know it could spark a little bit of controversy. So, wrap this all up. Basically, tourism is the key to saving these fragile environmental places because it provides the economic incentive to keep the animals alive and the habitat intact. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for sticking with me all the way through it. And if you like it, please subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any new awesome videos. Comment below, like I said, with any questions. Let me know what you guys think if you want to see more videos like this. And stay tuned for the next one. Bye!